Now, having spoken about four generations, let's look at deeper into each one of them. First, let's look at the boomers. The boomers born before 1960, they are called the builders or the architects of the millennium. Now, why? If you really look at your grandfather, my grandfather, I am very, very clear that today, if I am standing in this place, is because of the vision that my grandfather had. I'm sure you will understand. If you look at that generation, they were really visionary and they created something called legacy. So let us look at what they experienced life together as. They experienced the independence struggle, the India-Pakistan division, the Nizam rule, the Article 370, probably experienced the first general elections, the 5-year plans, and at that point of time, the All India Radio was more important means of communication for news, and newspaper was radio and newspaper. So what they were driven by is legacy creation. You can clearly see that, and that's why they were called the builders of the millennium or the architects of the millennium. They prefer auditory mode of communication because they were more attuned to the radio. So words were important for these. The words are important for these people. That's why they tend to talk a lot. If you look at your grandfather, they will tend to give you a lot of advice. They talk a lot. They're very comfortable with face-to-face communication. So if you want to communicate with a boomer, that's the best way to communicate. Don't send them an email. They're not very comfortable with technology per se. And it's easier for them to pick up the phone and talk, or best face-to-face. And the thinking pattern, first and primarily driven by legacy creation, involvement as in moving towards loyalty. If you really look at that generation, people had a pride in saying that I served this company or I served this organization for 30 long years, 40 long years. In fact, when they joined an organization, they completely surrendered themselves to the organization. And that's the kind of involvement that I'm talking about. Personal gratification and obviously community. They did a lot of CSR activities. If you looked at your grandfather, the kind of my two grandfathers, I can clearly see a lot of community work that they did. So this is who the boomers are.